Hey, so how is it going? How's Refo going?
All good, all good. We have been growing pretty fast, I think more than we had expected. But very happy to be collaborating with Finternet.
Nice. So tell me the origin stories of Refo, na? How has it been?
I was a founding member at Credible,
Okay.
and we're working very closely with a lot of banks. Now, what we saw, interoperability between the banks was a massive issue. So banks were taking, when they had to, let's say, deploy their credit cards, their loans, their deposit products onto third-party channel, it was taking them anything like 1 to 2 years per channel. And you multiply by that with the number of channels they want to actually do that for. So we did not like that. So we decided that we have to change it. And then we took an interoperability approach. Basically, how do we do it through standards? So in India, we have taken a route where most of the DPI which was available at that point in time, like backend protocol, ONDC and all, we started building around that. Today we have more than 5 banks which we have onboarded on such networks. And then we took the same journey to US, and we have been working on doing the same in the UAE region as well.
Oh, nice.
So that way, I think the overall vision and the ethos that we have is how do we make banking more interoperable and make it more democratized and easier to connect with banking services for people and fintech. That's what we have been working on.
Nice. So from India to now UAE and US, how has the variability come in? Like, are they very different in terms of behavior?
No, surprisingly, if you see, the principles are very similar. From a regulatory perspective, also we found that the principles were very same across the geography. So whether it is about customer data privacy, managing their consents better, protecting their information, and how do you actually analyze a customer information, most of that data is actually, and most of the philosophy is actually same. What varies is only the regulators. In India, you have RBI and all, while in US, you may have 2-3 different regulators. That's the only thing that changes. And that creates an opportunity for people like you and us. How can we create more and more open standards, which then can be adopted by everybody across the globe? Will you tell me how your journey has been in Finternet and some origin story on that?
So as I mentioned, thing which I saw about Finternet is the diversity of people. Legal engineers, you have scientists, you have researchers, marketing people. I started my career in media, then dabbled into fintech, and now went into NBFCs. Then I understood how traditional finance is versus how the fintech mentality is. And then you understand what are the loopholes within the system, how there are issues within the system which brings in a lot of inefficiencies in terms of speed, in terms of costs and everything. And last GFF when Nandan was presenting on Finternet and the unlock it creates, the use case which struck me was about home loans. Now, the dichotomy in the Indian ecosystem is that you get a personal loan of 5 lakhs in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because of the advancement in DPI and the BRE engine based out of it. But the same thing for affordable home loan of 10 lakhs is required. You require 21 days.
Right.
Because the bank is technically underwriting 2 people. Two entities. One is the person, that's solved because of DPI. But then you have property. Within the property, you have legal search. You have technical valuation, you have fraud checks, then the person has personal discussions to do, field investigation to do. So this entire thing has multiple agencies involved. You take 5 to 6 days for that.
Yeah.
On top of that, a lender spends 4,000 to 6,000 bucks on a prospect, not even a customer. And then post that, after sanctioning, you have to give physical dockets.
Correct.
That again takes 10 days.
Yeah.
So it becomes a 3-week window. Imagine 1.4 billion people, at least in the Indian context, suffering from this, where for a home loan in the 21st century, you have to wait for 21 days versus any other product type. It creates problem. And me being in the mortgage industry, I thought it's somehow insulting also that we should come up with something.
A home loan is the largest asset.
Yeah, precisely. And you have home loans for premium market, affordable market, as well as the bottom 40% of India, which becomes a big problem. The more, the deeper you go into the pyramid, the more problematic it is. That's when I saw the beauty of Finternet, where what if you tokenize the property and that property has a composite token which has legal, search, everything embedded in it, what a lender needs.
Right.
So essentially, in a realistic thing, it won't become a 10-second transaction, but it may become a 2-day transaction, 3 days transaction. The beauty of this workshop was that we had artists, scientists, researchers on every field, even global people coming in, talking about their country innovation, like US, what happened in Singapore.
Yeah.
You get that vantage point, and then you have legal tracks, you have technology tracks, you have business tracks, and you kind of see what are the compliance angles.
See, first for me also last 2 days, I felt that I was surrounded with the top 1% of India, all the bright talent across technology, finance, and people who can actually influence the organization and regulations as well. So I think that sets the tone that we have the right team behind the initiative. Second, just tapping on your home loan thing that you mentioned, it clearly cuts down on the time that it currently takes from 21 days to, let's say, 2-3 days. Also, you have a better control on the risk because you're tokenizing that particular property.
Yes.
It's better risk controlled, and then it opens up a lot of other opportunities as well. But tell me a bit more about the inclusion part of it. How do we address, or how do you think we would address the inclusion, and how do we bring in the people who are underserved? How would they bring in? How would they come into the umbrella?
That's an interesting piece. So the way I look at it, my framework is the Troika framework, which I think one is the network layer, one is the infrastructure layer, and one is the protocol layer. Now I'll just talk about the network layer. You have people on one side, which are the demand side. Then on the supply side, you have banks, NBFCs, regional rural banks, cooperative banks, banks and lenders of every archetype. Then you have tokenization, you have use cases like home loan and stuff. Now let's double down into the home loan aspect.
Correct.
You're tokenizing it, and through the protocol layer, you're standardizing those tokens. What happens is, standardization opens this entire thing for the entire network to consume. Now imagine a project which was first only available to 2 or 3 premium lenders, now getting into 10 lenders. What will happen is, the retail customer will have that optionality of having 10 lenders to ask for. That will in a way start bidding system, which will then, what will happen is, the same customer which could have gotten 12% out of it would maybe get 11 to 10.5%.
Right.
So he improves on that.
Correct.
And then what happens is, his payment propensity also improves because he has to pay less amount of EMIs, be it in terms of tenure, be it in terms of cost. So what happens is, then it later percolates into the system because banks will get more liquidity because of repayments being better, and the entire secondary order effect starts. So that's the way I look at it. I know there are a lot of bells and whistles attached to it, but I think it's a great starting point which we had during the workshops, where we thought that, okay, these are the things which will happen. Forward looking, what will happen, what are the implications, what are also the risks attached.
Correct.
So that's the good point, that we had a lot of people who come from the risk background, where they were highlighting that this may come up, and then technology was saying we can solve it like this, business was saying we can solve it like this, which I thought was a very curiosity driven, intellectually stimulating session we had.
No, absolutely. I think one, of course, is the domestic opportunity. Very interesting use cases that we are building together on that. But at the same time, coming to the cross-border thing.
This is powerful.
The biggest problem is, today there is no such infrastructure which is making banks across the border communicate with each other. And that's where I believe we would truly unlock the power of Finternet as we scale it beyond the geography as well. And why we are excited, because we have presence for open banking all across the globe now, especially for 3-4 prominent geographies where we have a lot of international people, like people of Indian origins, NRIs.
You have numbers, like how many?
So broadly, the NRI number is about 15 million, and collectively about people of Indian origin, that number is about 35 to 40 million who are outside. But if I just give you some numbers on remittances, India receives $130 billion of remittances from this set of people. So what we are looking at with the opportunity through Finternet and how we can leverage our open banking network is, how do we make it easy for people who are Indians who are outside to open up a bank account here, then to maybe get an NRI home loan in India or any other kind of loan that they require domestically, and later tap into the remittances part of that as well. And all basically starts from the key primitives that we designed at Finternet, which is around the identity. How do we have the key identity framework around a wallet that is set as a core for Finternet? So I think that would truly unlock the opportunity for everybody across the globe.
Lovely.
Yeah.
No, it's a powerful construct because I was even thinking as I said, my uncle was struggling with it. Even I was thinking, and it also gets a global mobility factor really nice. And world is your oyster, right? So essentially feeds into that vision altogether.
Yeah.
So yeah, really nice.
Beyond work, tell me about the team. How is the team at Finternet? You have spent most of the time. I've spent only 2 days, but tell me more about the team. What do you like about them?
I think you're nothing but an amalgamation of the ecosystem you're in.
Yeah.
And the best part about this ecosystem is skill development is there, but I'm very high on mentality. Here the main thing, the mentality that people have. These are people, Nandan Elekani, Pramod Verma, Siddharth. They have significantly contributed not to companies, but to the India growth story.
Correct.
Be it Aadhaar, be it credit layer on top of it. They think about diversity, inclusions, all kinds of things. So you get to know the scale because you really have to have that ambition really high. Yeah. Ambition is not to be the best company, but to do something for mankind, which I feel was a wow kind of a vision, which blew me off. That was one. So mentality training in terms of getting your ambition right, getting to understand scale.
Yeah.
Imagine this team has done scalability for 1.5 billion people. Now the world population is 8 billion. The way to look at it is not 8 billion. If I can do 1.5, can I do 8? Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
So that's the amount of mentality training which you get.
Correct.
And also kind of working with them in use cases, understanding how they approach things. And the best part is they allow you to have your own head, own mind, own logics, and kind of rubbing shoulders with the best in the business, right?
Correct.
Like you're there, you have created great fintechs in the supply chain finance thing. Now you're doing it internationally. You're getting into remittance, you're getting into home loans, you're getting into multiple segments and occupying a space which not many fintechs have dabbled into. So that's a mindset training, you get a network training, you get a dominoes effect every time running in. And I feel 1 + 1 is 100 here. Because dealing with that amount of crowd who have done it, and Finternet is all about, they will give you a lot of opportunities. You come, you are there on one use case, then suddenly you get into 3-4 use cases, and then you actually start thinking like them that, hey, we can do this as well, we can do this as well. And a diversity of people, like legal people. That day I was speaking legal business to my wife, who also happens to be a lawyer, and she was impressed. Never gets impressed with me, but then I thought that it's a good flex to have. So yeah, that's how it is. What about you? How has your experience been like? In terms of people, in terms of this?
For the Finternet team, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. See, I could see the same level of energy across the band. So there are people who are just working as interns.
Yeah, you have 18, 17-year-olds. You have Shreyas who's 18 or something.
So those people are working with the same energy. And a lot of times I could see their questions were much better and much more intellectual than most of the other people in the room.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you have very sharp and experienced people like Nandan and Pramod also who are guiding that how do you shape up the overall protocol, the infrastructure. And the best part was the urgency.
Yeah.
So you bring the most sharpest team in a room, quickly decide what needs to be done, and then everybody would just take it forward from there. And then there is kind of nobody is bothered about what time of the day it is. Everybody is working throughout. That's the energy that I could quickly see, and I would take that back to my team as well and tell them about what all happened in the last 2 days.
It's viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's there. And I think great conversations. I think we are looking forward for more co-creation opportunities. I believe we are on NRI home loans thing. We are also talking about how can we tokenize property. We are also looking at international remittance, the range, and you have to become a different character for every use case. It's something we are looking forward to, I think.
Correct. Great. We are also looking forward to it. And let's make it happen.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Thanks.